One question this movie does not answer: how in the world are they talking to each other on those tiny little headsets when one person's on the moon and the other is on Earth? I can't even get signal at my grandmother's house. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just watched the brand new movie directed by Damien Chazelle called First Man, a movie that has been my most anticipated film. Since I saw the new Avengers movie, I was very much looking forward to this. I wanted to see it in IMAX. I saw it in IMAX. That might have enhanced my experience, but what can I say? This thing stars Ryan Gosling and Claire Foy. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. All of my announcements will be at the end of the video, but right now we are talking First Man. I am so excited to talk about this. Let's get right into it. So we'll look at the life of the astronaut Neil Armstrong and the legendary space mission that led him to become the first man, see what I did there, to walk on the moon on the 20th of July in 1969. This film is a biography slash drama. It is very long. It might be a little too long for some, but for me, I sat there and I ate up every second of this story of a man, and a story really that I did not know that much about. I mean, I thought I knew a lot about that, and then while the movie's happening, things are happening on screen, I'm like, okay, I didn't know that aspect of his life. I did not know that aspect of the mission. I didn't realize how complicated it was going to be to pull something like this off, and I am so interested in the fact that we did this as a nation, as humanity. We were able to send someone to the moon with technology that, frankly, if you compare it to even something like an iPhone, it's probably not very good. But we did it, and spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't know the ending of First Man, but if you don't know the ending of First Man, then I don't know what to say to you. But Austin, we know what's going to happen in this movie. How in the world can they get me interested in this story? Well, if you're not really interested in the story of Neil Armstrong, you're not going to love this film. The reason that you get so attached to a movie like this is you have to get invested in his character. And I've been hearing a lot of complaints. Austin, Ryan Gosling, he gives a very wooden performance. He's just kind of stoic throughout the entire movie. He doesn't do very much. He doesn't show that emotion. I have to disagree with that because there are points in the movie, yes, he is absolutely just kind of straight-faced, he knows what he's doing, he knows his mission, and he's very determined. And because of those reasons, he doesn't show that much emotion. First off, I do believe that Ryan Gosling was basing his performance off of something. He had to be doing this for a reason, and Damien had to allow him to do this. And I would say it's because Neil Armstrong acted like this in real life. The man was a smart man. He did things that no other human had done before. And I know a lot of people who are smart enough to be engineers. I know a few engineers myself, and my wife, she knows a lot of doctors. And usually they have kind of the same personality. And that personality isn't a bad thing. It's just something that's not going to reveal a lot of emotion. They're always very focused on what they're doing, which works out for the task that they are trying to accomplish. But when you're trying to convey that on screen, it can be a hard thing to convey. I do believe Ryan Gosling did a great job of that. Sure, it's not going to get people excited that we're looking for an incredible, emotional Ryan Gosling performance. I do believe there's emotion in there, and when you dig deep into this character, you can find that, and those subtle moments that we get of emotion with his character, I thought those were some of the best parts of the film. But I think that, combined with the fact that this is such a powerful, true story, it's a story of heroism, it's a story of accomplishment, it's a story of someone who wanted to do something, not just someone though, an entire organization, and then an entire country that gathered around to watch. To the person who watched this movie and said it's completely un-American, I don't even think the person watched the movie, and then all of these people jumped on board, and yeah, what are you doing, Damien? It's an un-American. What? This is one of the most American movies I have seen all year. I don't even want to get on that train because I'm just going to ride it all the way to the other station. That analogy was stupid. This movie is just a technical achievement. It is beautiful to look at. The CGI was completely seamless. There is not one shot that I could tell you, oh yeah, I noticed the CGI. And listen, I'm watching this on one of the biggest screens possible in IMAX, where you will notice things like this if they do not work. And I love the look of the movie, right? The cinematography is really good. It gets a little shaky at times, but that's the style that they were going for. They had to stick to their guns. And then the graininess, it feels like it's from that time period. I love the decision by the director, by the cinematographer, Damien Chazelle. I haven't said it yet in this review. He's one of my favorite directors working. La La Land and Whiplash are just like, oh, they're some of my favorite movies of all time. And then you bring in First Man, a movie that looks completely different, feels completely different, but you can still tell it has that genius behind the camera just because of the film style. And my favorite favorite part of the movie is, of course, when he gets to the moon. Spoilers again. And if you are watching this in IMAX, which I encourage you to do, you switch from the normal size screen and it expands to IMAX. The graininess goes away. You have full-on HD IMAX glory of this beautiful sequence. The way that they use sound editing and sound mixing was awesome. They bring in and out the sound. It's very accurate to what space does or does not sound like. They just put in so much effort. Sure, the technical stuff is great, but how did you feel while you were watching this movie? Well, I'm talking about the opening scene, and I'm literally sitting there on the edge of my seat, and we're not even to the point to where he's doing things in an actual spaceship yet. The guy's just flying a plane. But just the way that it's shot, the entire movie almost, this stuff is shot from their perspective, right? You see the inside of the cockpit. You rarely see what is through that glass window. You get it all from their perspective. It's shaky. It's rough to watch. Sometimes you can't even tell what's going on, but you know what? That's probably exactly how they felt. If we're going into negatives, like I said, it is a long film, and sometimes you can feel that length. Some of the conversations in the side plots, and not that there were a lot of side plots in this movie, I'm just saying they were a little bit more drawn out than I think they needed to be. Some of the shots linger a little bit longer. There were 2 or 3 scenes that I can recall in my memory. Claire Foy was awesome. I think she is Oscar-worthy in this role when you're talking about Best Supporting Actress, but her accent, man, her accent did start to slip in and out just a little bit. I noticed it in Unsane. I noticed here again. If she can get that accent down, I think she'll be one of the best actresses working, but she still did a great job. And it's not a movie you're going to walk out of and say, man, I have to watch that again tomorrow. I kind of felt that way with A Star Is Born. I'm like, I could watch Star Is Born again. I could watch it again maybe next week. It's a very rewatchable film. First Man isn't necessarily a rewatchable film, but I can't really strike the movie for that. Now, I do think I will watch this again because I want to see how it holds up, not on this giant, glorious screen with this incredible sound that enhanced all of the technical qualities, but because it's so long and because some of the scenes are drawn out, I feel like the pacing does suffer at times, and there were 1 or 2 occasions where I wasn't checking out. I'm just sitting there like, all right, can we move it along here? I want to see what happens next. Guys, if you're a fan of Damien Chazelle, if you like Ryan Gosling, if you're interested in the story of Neil Armstrong because of all of those reasons, I think you will at least get something out of this movie. For me, I got more than that. I was really invested while watching this. It's not necessarily my favorite Damien Chazelle movie, but I think I loved it. I really do. I'm going to say that because the more I think about it, when I first walked out of the theater, I'm like, I don't know if I loved it as much as I wanted to, but on the car ride home, as I was discussing it with Madison and just sitting here thinking about all of the aspects that worked, there are so many that worked. I don't think this one's a masterpiece. This is the first Damien Chazelle movie where I can say I think the runtime got to me a little bit, but that doesn't mean I did not love the movie, and because of all of those reasons, I'm going to give First Man a 92%. I thought this movie was great. I told you I'm not necessarily going to watch it again really soon, but I do think I'll watch it again just to see how it holds up on a smaller screen. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Are you excited for First Man? It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I do think it's going to crack the top 10 by the end of the year. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for everything that you do. Be sure to look out for my other reviews coming tomorrow, potentially 3 reviews, maybe 4 if I can handle all of the content flowing through my brain. And then this Sunday, be on the lookout for a special video holding a very cool announcement. If you guys haven't checked out MovieBabbleReviews.com, go to that website, check them out. They are always awesome, posting some crazy good articles. I will catch you guys later.